Imagine walking into a room, confident, your wrist glinting, not because there's a show-off moment happening, but because you know something no one else does. That glint? It's not just time. It's subtle power. It's a secret handshake among millionaires. Welcome to the hidden world of luxury watches. When you hear luxury watch, maybe you think flashy logos, extravagance, maybe even a touch of ostentation. But if you're really aiming to think like the wealthy, to invest, to choose wisely, to wear with volume muted, but meaning loud, then you'll want to dig beneath the surface. Let's pull back the curtain and walk through luxury watch secrets only millionaires know, revealed. No pretense, no jargon, just conversation, story, insight. 1. It's not about showing off, it's about knowing. I once had lunch with someone who made his first million by 30. He doesn't wear screaming logos. Instead, on his wrist, he had a watch that looked wholly understated. Steel bracelet, modest diameter, simple dial. But when you asked him about it, his eyes lit up. That watch? He knew every detail. The movement inside, the history of the brand, the scarcity. He could tell you why it was a smart buy, not just why it looked good. Millionaires don't wear watches only for others to see. They wear them because they know. They recognize provenance, craftsmanship, legacy. For example, a brand like Patek Philippe has that rare mix of heritage and exclusivity. So the first secret? Wear a watch you understand, not one you simply want. 2. They treat watches like assets, not trophies. You might think a millionaire buys a high-end watch to flaunt. Sometimes they do, but often, quietly, they buy one because it holds value, or will. In places like India, the luxury watch market is booming precisely because wealthy people are treating watches like collectible assets. My friend in the lunch story? He told me he buys watches he's comfortable with wearing, but more importantly, he's comfortable with not wearing every day because he sees them as long-term pieces. The secret here? They think future value. They monitor scarcity, brand reputation, condition, and market trends. They're not just risk-deep, they're investment-aware. 3. Scarcity drives desire and value. You know how when something is everywhere, it's less interesting? Well, millionaires get that instinct. They know when everyone can get it, it's less special. Look at the brands top in the luxury watch world. Names known for exclusivity. The fewer the pieces made, the harder the waiting list, the more meaningful the purchase. One collector told me, "I don't buy what's trending now, I buy what will be coveted 5 years from now." He went for a model that had a 2-year waiting list. He wore a loaner for 6 months. When his piece arrived, it felt like a milestone, not just a purchase. Secret. Scarcity isn't just hype, it's the foundation of value. 4. They buy what suits them, not what's marketed to them. Marketing is everywhere. Giant ads, celebrity endorsements, billboards lighting up. But if you're trying to see through that, you'll notice millionaires often ignore the loudest campaigns. They pick what fits their life. One of my contacts works in real estate and often meets clients at marinas and rooftop bars. He chose a sports luxury watch, robust, water-resistant, but sleek enough for a board meeting. He didn't pick full diamond bezel because it wouldn't suit him consistently. The secret here? Choose a watch that reflects you, your lifestyle, your environment, your personality, not just what the brand tells you. 5. Materials and movement matter. Yes, really. When I first entered the world of serious watches, I assumed more gold equals more value. Turns out it's not so simple. Millionaires know that the movement, finishing, materials, provenance matter far more than just gold case. For instance, a brand like Patek Philippe invests heavily in precision, heritage, complication. Meanwhile, many flashy luxury watches may look stunning, but their internals might be outsourced, generic, or less valuable. One veteran collector told me, "You can tell a lot about someone who checks the movement specs before the case color." Secret. Focus on the heart of the watch, not just the exterior sparkle. 6. Patience pays. Waiting lists, pre-orders, second-hand markets. I know the urge. See the watch, want the watch, get the watch. But for many in the high-end game, the wait is part of the process. They'll sign up, wait years, maybe change their mind, maybe not. But that waiting leads to exclusivity. And then there's the second-hand market, which can sometimes yield gems. In some regions, luxury watches are increasingly resold as collectible assets. A friend of mine scored a model after 2 years on a list. The feeling? Worth every minute. Secret. Impulsiveness rarely leads to lasting satisfaction in luxury watches. Think long-term. 7. They don't show everything they own. There's one unspoken rule in this circle. The best watches are often the ones you don't see every day. Tales of millionaire CEOs wearing a modest watch at breakfast and their special piece only at certain occasions are common. It's not about flexing every hour. I'll never forget one lunch. At noon, he wore a simple steel dress watch. At a gala that evening, he switched to a high-complication model. Two faces of the same person. Secret: the watch becomes part of your wardrobe story, not the whole story. 8. Knowledge trumps size. Huge watches with tons of bling can scream, "Look at me." And that's fine, if it's genuinely you. But many who understand luxury know that a well-proportioned, thoughtfully chosen piece often carries more weight than a massive, flashy one. In fact, I recall speaking with a collector who refused a watch simply because the size would dominate his wrist. "I want presence, not dominance," he said. And on the knowledge side, being able to speak about the watch's engine, manufacture, history, service intervals, that matters. Because when you buy a luxury watch, you become part of a lineage. Secret: smaller, sharper, better informed is often better than louder, bigger, less thought through. 9. They care about servicing and legacy. Here's where things get real. Buying a luxury watch is only the beginning. Millionaires know that if you skip servicing, skip care, you degrade value. They also think generational. A watch that can move beyond their wrist. A guy told me his father's watch has more sentimental value than the new one he bought. He wears it sometimes and keeps it in rotation. He asks, "Will my kid want this?" That mindset changes how you buy, how you keep, how you wear. Secret: think legacy, think long game, not just the "wow, I have it now" moment. 10. The story behind the watch matters. And finally, the richest find meaning. Why did this watch get made? What was the brand story? Who wore it before? What's the cultural significance? That's what turns a watch into more than a watch. For instance, a watch tied to a milestone, a limited edition, a historical moment. That resonates. Because when you strap it on, you're carrying not just minutes and seconds, but a narrative. One collector said, "I don't buy just to tell time. I buy to tell a story." That's the final secret. Wear a story, not just a timepiece. When I think back to that lunch, I remember more the pride in his voice when he talked about the complications inside his watch than the watch itself. That's what separates the collector's mind from the casual buyer. That's what we're talking about when we say luxury watch secrets millionaires know. It's less about "I have" and more about "I understand." And you know what? If you go down that path, you'll find not only better watches but better satisfaction. Because you'll wear something you believe in, not just something you bought. So next time you glance at your wrist, ask yourself, what's the story here? Am I just wearing a timepiece or am I wearing a legacy? Once you answer that, you'll see the difference between a watch that shows you and one that knows you. If you enjoyed this walkthrough of luxury watch secrets only millionaires know revealed, hit that subscribe button or whatever follow means in your world so we can keep diving into stories, insights, and hidden worlds together. See you on the wrist side, and happy watch hunting!